Hey everybody, Cool Cucumber here, and I have a guest for this vlog, the voice of Lieutenant Surge, Branden Carr.
What's up, everybody? You might know me from other things, but I'm super stoked to be here because, as Adam knows, I love Pokemon.
So, it's funny, of the people I've invited to do vlogs, I know you have the closest bond with the anime of any of those people. I myself have a fairly polarizing view of it. So I'm curious if I could poke your brain at some of the, Surgisms in the anime.
Oh, of course, yeah. I actually grew up watching Pokemon, playing the trading card game, playing games, and still do as a 30-year-old man. I actually just bought a pack of Pokemon cards yesterday, so still a huge fan of the series.
I couldn't keep affording that hobby.
Yeah, neither can I still do it, though.
So, I feel like Surge's point in the game is to teach you that you have to have new Pokemon on your team. That it's really hard to battle Surge if you don't collect new Pokemon because all of the ground types come available after Brock.
Yeah, I agree with that. Surge is definitely one of the ones where you have to start kind of strategizing more. As a kid, you might not have known that, and Lieutenant Surge was definitely a tough one in the beginning, especially if you picked a Squirtle as your starter.
Guess which starter I picked?
I actually saw that, yeah. Squirtle's my favorite starter, so...
my edgelord Wartortle.
Love it.
Just is never cool with anything. God, why are you always talking to yourself? You're so stupid.
I love it. But yeah, this was definitely the point that you realized you needed other Pokemon, because a lot of kids would just build up their starter and have their starter level, 30 and the rest of their Pokemon's level 10, not even, trying to level them up. And then at this point, Lieutenant Surge could really lay a whooping on most of those.
So, the interesting thing I find about the anime is that we all know that Pikachu is kind of over-relied on, especially in the original anime.
Yes, especially those first few gyms.
In the battle against Surge, Ash makes it a point to use Pikachu and actually does teach something about the games in the process, or more accurately, Brock teaches it, because Brock is the mouthpiece for the devs, apparently.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
I have, even in Yellow version, I have battled Surge with just the Pikachu and won, but it's tedious, it's time-consuming, it's not fun. I would not recommend it. I'm curious what you think they could have done with that battle to maybe make it more friendly to people who had played the games, more sensical? Because I have a theory that I think would have worked, but...
I think they should have just had... That should have been the point in the anime where Ash realized Pikachu can't do everything. And I think it would have been better if he would have caught a different Pokemon. Maybe even trade a Pokemon. I don't think he should have evolved Pikachu, because I know that was a big issue. The big
yeah.
Is he going to evolve Pikachu? I don't think that's necessary. But I do think maybe training other Pokemon, get them evolved, get them higher, be a real Pokemon trainer, not just a Pikachu trainer, would have been the better option.
So they kind of sort of did something like that in the Battle of Misty, the battle against Misty in the anime, where Pikachu didn't want to fight Misty because he liked her and was a punk.
yeah, disobeying your trainer, yep.
Just constantly, you don't have enough badges to train me. You're level 12. You still don't have enough badges to train me. But I have the Boulder badge, and you're level 12. But you still don't... No, I feel like in the battle against Surge, it would have made a lot more sense if Pikachu would have had a helping hand from Ash's team, because Ash did have enough team members to weaken Surge's Raichu for Pikachu. Charmander isn't weak to electricity, and Bulbasaur actually resists it.
Yeah, and that would have been the better option. Maybe, and I just don't think that but they did teach you that it's not always good to evolve your Pokemon, because your earlier learn moves, and that the older ones can't.
And to the people watching that don't know that, yes, that is a thing. If you leave your Pokemon in an unevolved state, they learn moves faster. And in the case of some evolutions, like a lot of stone evolutions, they don't learn moves at all if you evolve them right away. That's another reason why I didn't want to use Nidoking, and instead I use an Onix. Is because if I had evolved a Nidoking or a Nidoqueen right out of the gate, it would have been stuck until I found TMs that it could learn with moves like Scratch and Growl, which, while fine on Route 2, once you start rounding the corner and getting ready to battle Erica, it becomes a little annoying.
Yes. So, see, that's the perfect Pokemon trainer, is somebody who thinks ahead like that. Whereas Ash didn't think ahead, he just didn't know that as a fact.
Ash didn't think ahead, and Gary was privileged.
Yes. I mean, when you grow up and you're, related to Professor Oak, I'm sure you got to learn quite a bit.
I'm curious if you know about Blue, who is Gary, who is also green in Japan, his portrayal in the manga at all.
I actually did read the mangas a long time ago. It's been a while. He was it was a little bit different than the anime, but he was still that spoiled rich kid, right?
He was and he wasn't. Basically, he was neglected. And so his whole thing was that he had to prove that he was a worthy successor to Professor Oak, that he was an even better trainer and just as smart.
Yeah, and that makes perfect sense, because, when you have somebody like that to look up to, you kind of want to fill their shoes. And that also goes with this episode, the theory about, why some of the children here are either fatherless or abandoned is because of the war that Lieutenant Surge talks about.
It's interesting because people have theorized that the various Pokemon games line up with each other based off of when the remakes come out. And the war Surge is talking about very well could have been the war that took place before Pokemon X and Y. The one where, with AZ creating the ultimate weapon to end the war. That's totally not an allegory for nuclear bombardment at all. But
it's not the the weapon that can destroy everything. Yeah. But I've always found that interesting, even as a kid, when that theory first came about. Think about that in a world where, these 10-year-olds seem to not have a lot of fathers, and I wonder why. It was the fathers are missing and the mothers are always there.
I have a theory for what I have, like a headcanon for what happened to Q's father, and I know I mentioned some of that in episode 1. That is going to come up in a later episode. And by later, I mean possibly the next episode after this, maybe the one after that.
Oh,
so,
nice. It's right around the corner.
Hopefully that happens. I haven't actually recorded it yet. I've been recording ahead so that I could get time with my guest, where neither of us was pressed for time.
Yeah. And even, we've tried. This has been weeks in the making. I'm glad I finally got on here with you. This has seriously been weeks, guys, that me and Adam have been trying to get together for this.
Well, it's been really fun, and I guess I just have one last question to ask you before you go. And that's, what's your favorite electric-type Pokemon?
So my favorite electric-type Pokemon of all time is Electabuzz. The reason I picked Electabuzz was because, like I said, I was really into the trading card game back in the day. And Electabuzz and Magmar were the two cards that were very overpowered at the time, because you didn't have to evolve them. They were already so powerful. So it was nice to throw them out every once in a while.
Meanwhile, all the kids sitting in their corner but what about my Charizard? It's like, Charizard is good in the games, in the original games, not so much in the modern ones. But do you really want to spend all that energy just to unlock a move that you have to constantly dump more fire energy into your Charizard for it to use?
Yeah, your four fire energy, discarding energy, and then and then you have to back then many cards to draw, so you had to hope, go through your whole deck and hope to God he wasn't in your prize pool. So I'll take Electabuzz 100% of the time.
It's funny you mentioned that because I have a bit that I'm going to say in the future about Electabuzz. I mentioned it in one of the previous vlogs that there are two types of Pokemon that are very common in Gen 1 strategy, and those are the Constrictors, like Onix, and non-Psychics using Psychic. Electabuzz is able to learn Psychic in the original games, which gave you an outlet to use those super powerful Psychic attacks without feeling like, oh god, I'm using Alakazam and Mewtwo. God, do I have any real skill? What even is this? Is this a skill?
Right, yeah. When I was a kid, actually, I had a level 100 Kadabra because I didn't know how to evolve Alakazam. I was so angry I couldn't get him to evolve, and then later on, one of us finally got a manual and it said you had to trade him. I was like, oh, that's it.
Well, this has brought up a lot of stuff that's going to come up in later vlogs, because I have a lot to talk about with trading in Gen 3. But I'm not going to turn that stone over yet. I'm actually going to wait a long time to discuss that.
Oh, nice. I love that. This is just what happens. This is the stuff Pokemon fans think about on their off time all the time. Trading is the story, is the types, a perfect time to evolve people, IVs and EVs, shinies, all that stuff.
What Pokemon does your rival have?
Yeah, your Pokemon rival. Yeah, all the cool little theories people come up with, like you accidentally kill Blue's Raichu.
Eradicate.
Eradicate, yeah, not Raichu.
I'm like, he never has a Raichu. I mean, he
yeah,
probably catches one, but
yeah, definitely have an electric Pokemon on the brain right now. But yeah, for sure, my favorite electric type has and probably always will be a Electabuzz. I don't know if that'll change. I'm kind of, they say once you hit a certain age, it's kind of hard to change your mind.
I think my favorite electric type I think it's Electrode for me.
Electrode's a good one. He was always easier to get.
Well, Electrode, and I had an Electrode in a past life on my old YouTube channel, but Electrode is the fastest Pokemon in Gens 1 and 2. It wasn't until Deoxys and Ninjask came around that he was supplanted as the fastest Pokemon ever.
Yeah, and that speed in this game is everything. For player play competitively, you always want to get that first hit.
Speed plus the ability to learn Thunder Wave in those early games. Just like, you're paralyzed for the rest of this fight because this is Stadium and you can't use items to heal like I did against Surge repeatedly.
Well, to be fair, I used the item first, so...
Yeah, Surge was spamming... Surge used Super Potion, and then he was also spamming Double Team, so at that point, I'm like, okay, gloves come off, no holds barred.
Yeah,
I don't have to hold back.
Yeah, and I think Electabuzz, well, more Voltorb, had a pretty good showing in the anime as well. Whereas I don't think we've seen much Electabuzz in the anime.
So I went back and rewatched most of the original anime not too long ago. Mm-hmm. Oddly enough, Voltorb's showing was in the episode based around Koga.
Oh, okay.
And he just had like a bunch of random floor panels. It's just like, hey, an exploding Pokemon!
Yeah.
Find your way through my death gauntlet, 10-year-olds.
I definitely have vivid memories of exploding Voltorbs. Kid.
I'm sure there are a few countries in a few nations in Europe that still have landmines that are just like, seeing something like Voltorb would possibly be triggering.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because that's pretty much all they are. And then they're shaped like Pokeballs too, so like little 10-year-old kids, they get confused, pick up, and then boom, which is the scary part about Pokemon people don't like to talk about.
Oh, I'm not going to say they're wild animals, because I still stand by I think they're yokai, which are Japanese spirits taking the form of animals or objects. But so many yokai are objects. Like, I'm an umbrella that slams down on people and crushes their bones. I am a capsule from a prize machine, and when you touch me, I blow up your hand, and then I float off and become another crazy capsule because I like blowing up hands.
Yeah, that's more and more now. The newer generation of Pokemon are just becoming items, like a teacup, ring of keys. Whereas they're starting to take over more items. I mean, look at the I forget what they're called. The like the wires and the
Ultra Beasts.
Ultra Beasts is what they're called. Yes, the Ultra Beasts are all pretty much just objects.
I mean, the Ultra Beast is several cans of worms that I don't feel like opening right now.
I'm actually poke hunting Pokemon cards for the Ultra Beasts, and I'm not a huge fan of the Ultra Beasts in the game, or I don't really use them, but I really want their Pokemon cards.
The Ultra Beasts, wall and wires and origami and nightmare creature. Oh, I'm sorry, I meant Nihilego.
Yeah, and then the items and stuff are starting to get more and more ridiculous, but I liked it where they did it where it was a Pokeball, so like, it's easy to confuse or things like that. Those were, I think that might have been, let me go through my head, the first gen, that might have been the only item Pokemon. Like, everything else kind of resembled more animals.
You can, if you incorporate plants, you could make an argument for Tangela, and you could also include Magnemite.
Magnemite, that's just a magnet, so that's right. Tangela, yeah, that's a, plant.
Technically, Tangela is a clump of seaweed.
Yeah.
So why isn't it watertight? Because water grass would have been broken in Gen 1.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, it's weak to poison, and flying, and poison?
It's no psychic types, where, they...
Oh, and bug.
Yeah.
And bug.
Psychic and bug, very broken in Gen 1.
No, bug's not broken in the original games just because there are no bug moves.
Yeah.
There's leech life, and
it was funny that bug type moves were what was super effective to psychic, but there wasn't anything for the bugs.
Psychic was so busted in Gen 1.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The moves were super powerful and it almost had no weakness, and then there was that glitch where ghosts were supposed to be affected against them, but it didn't really.
Well, specifically the glitch was, and I know we've gone over time at this point, but the glitch was that Ghost was supposed to be one of Psychic's 3 weaknesses, or 2 weaknesses, but instead, because of a glitch, Psychic was made immune to the one damaging Ghost-type move, Lick.
Yeah, and it was supposed to.
Not that Lick's the most reliable move to use in the first place. Fun fact, Lickitung cannot learn Lick naturally until Gen, I think, 4.
That is a very fun fact. We hit the bomb like 90% tongue and he can't lick.
Lickitung, I need you to lick some stamps for me. I don't know how. Now, Lickitung cannot learn Lick in Gen 1, 2, and I'm pretty sure also 3, with the exception of breeding. You can breed Lickitung to learn Lick. Because Snubbull learns Lick. And Snubbull can breed with Lickitung.
That's definitely an interesting thing.
Why? I don't understand it. That seems like the biggest oversight possible.
Yeah, it should have just started with the move Lick. Like, every one should just have that move instantly. It doesn't matter what level they are.
Just... What are you going to do about it? Why do you keep doing that to me?
Yes.
Anyway, it has been super fun having you on. I have tied you up for a really long time, and I hope that... do you know my outro? Because I know my outro, obviously, but
I don't know
curious.
the outro. I saw you and Callista do the vlog. I don't think I made it all the way to the end.
Oh. Anyway.
I finished most of it, I promised. I finished most.
Alright. Well, anyway, the outro is just a snap and then stay cool.
Okay. Oh, okay, I do know that. I actually do. I thought there was more words to it. Yeah, I've seen you do that.
Nah. So, I think it's about time we signed off, just because this is going to be fun to edit with the times that we've dropped each other.
Alright.
So, everybody, until next time.
Stay cool.